How's it going, Jets fans? It's Ryan Moran and Ali Ashraf here from Fireside Jets, coming to you after a weekend in which the Jets got a lot of help. Obviously, Ali and I spoke with you guys on Friday morning, and things were obviously not looking so good for the Jets with regards to their playoff hopes after a fourth straight loss. But here we sit on a Tuesday morning, after losses that the Patriots and the Dolphins both had over the weekend, and the Jets really control their destiny from here on out. Obviously, some great news yesterday with Mike White being cleared for contact, and the Jets are going to have him for this week in Seattle. Obviously, another team that's struggling, really no different than the Jets, who had a fast start to the year, but are now 7-8. And I think you really have to feel good about this Jets team's chances, over the last 2 weeks. Should they win out, they have roughly a 90% chance of making the postseason for the first time since 2010. So very exciting, a whole lot at stake. I think this is a very winnable game for the Jets now going into Seattle. And I think this team, you have all that extra time after the Thursday night game. I think there's no reason why physically, while it's a tough, cross country travel, I think that, that this is a perfect opportunity after the Thursday night game for this team to really regroup and, go into Seattle and take care of business. So Ali, how are you doing today? And what are some of your thoughts, going into this game with the Seahawks?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Happy holidays to everyone who's watching. But for Mike White returning, that's like a blessing for the Jets because we saw Zach Wilson crap the bed. You saw Streveler just not be able to throw, but he was moving the ball, but he's still not a quarterback. Joe Flacco is gonna pretty much stand on the sidelines. We needed Mike White, and Mike White is not a savior. Mike White is not a huge big time quarterback. But the thing with this team is we just need a quarterback that can make those easy plays and be a game manager. And that's what Mike White does. And Mike White brings us spark. People want to play for him. His teammates want to play for him. The locker room has went behind his back and is ready to fight for him. And that's what you need on the football field, especially when you're fighting for a playoff position. Obviously, the last 2 weeks have been disastrous as we lost the Lions. And then we lost this past week, and then things just got out of our hands. We started off so hot this year, and then we kind of died down, like you said. So having Mike White back literally gives us a chance because we got some help from the Patriots and Dolphins losing, and now we're looking into the playoffs. We control our destiny pretty much. Is we first got to beat Seattle. Seattle's a team that is it's a good team there. But I trust our defense to stop Geno. I trust our defense to step up. It's just about our offense. If they can move the ball down the field, we'll be fine and we'll be able to win that game. It's just about our defense just stopping and then our offense just moving the ball here and there and having long drives and leaving Geno on and Kenneth Walker off the field as long as possible. But for the Jets perspective, I like how they're heading into this game. They have obviously they're well rested after a debacle against the Jaguars at home. And now we're looking into a game where it's winnable and we have to win because we have to go, we want to make the playoff push. We have not been in the playoffs for so long and we all know that and we're anxious and we also got a lot of help. So it's very doable, but the hardest thing is everything else is going to fall in place. But the worrisome position right now is can the Jets win these two games? Because what we've seen the last few weeks, we have not seen a compatible team that puts up points and just competes and wins football games. That's what I'm questionable about. If the Jets can actually win those two games, it's winnable because the Dolphins are not as scary as people think. You can beat them, and we already beat them before. So if we can go in and just beat Seattle and then go beat the Dolphins and hopefully get some help from the Patriots, who knows? We can be in the playoffs this year.
100%. I think you said it best. Those are very, winnable games that the Jets have here down the stretch, and there's really no reason why they shouldn't be taking care of business. So, on some other news at the quarterback position for the Jets over the weekend, you heard Jay Glazer of Fox speak on, Zach Wilson's potential future with the Jets, and we'll get to your thoughts on it, Ali. And I think, most of Jets Nation has really sounded off and, made it pretty well known that, they feel it is best for, both the Jets and Zach to really go their separate ways this offseason, similar to what happened with Sam Darnold, nearly 2 off seasons ago now. Jay Glazer obviously did report that, expect the Jets to move on from Zach this offseason. And, he really highlighted some of Zach's own lack of confidence in himself, which I think we spoke on Friday morning. And I think, most Jet fans, and I think the team at this point, it's pretty obvious to them, and it's a shame to really see just such a lack of confidence from someone so talented. But I think, at the end of the day, when it's kind of pretty obvious and how things have predominantly gone for Zach in his 21 or 22 starts, whatever it is now with the Jets, I think you kind of got to see things, for what they are. And it's best for everyone to really kind of move on, I think, as soon as possible. So really, what are some of your thoughts on Glazer's report there and what you would personally look to try and do?
Yeah, it's definitely sad that we missed on another quarterback. This New York media it does get to your head, and if you can't play well here, you will get trashed down and you'll be kicked out of here. It's not just because our fans are ruthless; it's just the media as well. It's the fans also paying because the media is making the fans more angry and about this quarterback that's on the field that's not making the easy plays, who's pretty much just can't think on the football field. And obviously Zach Wilson will get an opportunity somewhere else. I don't know, as a starter or a backup, but this was worse than Sam Darnold when he played here. At least Sam Darnold made some throws. Zach Wilson cannot make any throws right now, and he can't read the field at all. So, um, you know, obviously Robert Salah and the Jet staff are they're gonna say that he has a future here, he has all this stuff here, and you never know, he might have, but I really doubt and see him being here next year just because um, the fans are just going to revolt against him if they see him on the field again. And he's going to be inactive this week, and I feel like he'll be inactive for the rest of the year, bearing any injury to Joe Flacco or Mike White. Um, but it's sad because we missed on another quarterback, and we thought he had talent. But that's what you say, that like on pro days are kind of like when we looked at Zach Wilson's pro day, we're like, this guy's elite, just throwing the damn ball, but he can't do anything else. Like, he has the arm strength, and even his arm strength didn't look pretty shot last game. He couldn't throw the ball. So I think hopefully it helps better for him. People think it's more personal than anything. No, it's not personal. It's just we want to win football games. Zach Wilson's not doing it for us. You go to the next guy. That's how our mentality is. Zach Wilson's just not doing his job. You see players frustrated on the field. You just don't see the offense. You get booed off the field. There's a reason you're getting booed off the field, because you're not doing your job and you're not moving the ball. And there's a lot mentally in his head, and I think he needs to go clear up and go start somewhere else.
I'm with you all the way, and I love your point. And you want that from Robert Saleh at the end of the day, right? To really stick up for all of his players. Even when someone like Zach maybe isn't necessarily deserving of it. And I think it just has to give you that much more optimism with regards to Saleh and how he can continue to build and develop this program moving forward. And the final bit from today, Ian Rappaport, it was yesterday or 2 days ago, was on the Pat McAfee show and shared a potential, pretty fascinating role for one Chris Streveler, obviously a guy who came in on Thursday night, showed some promise, a guy who in the preseason as well became really a fan favorite. And I think you see just a lot of moxie, a guy that's tough, obviously not from an arm talent standpoint, anything too overwhelming, but, a guy who can potentially give the Jets offense some multiplicity, some versatility with his usage, and potentially just keep defenses off balance, I think is, something with Trevor, even down the stretch here and, potentially moving forward as a young player. Rappaport shared that the Jets could look to use him in a Taysom Hill type of role, which I think is pretty intriguing. And Robert Saleh actually touched up on it yesterday in his press conference in the afternoon that, the Jets do plan on putting a package together for Streveler. It's definitely something that I think the Jets should really continue to, just keep defenses off balance with moving forward, make life easy on the offense. And I think Streveler, just his ability to run, his toughness, like I said, just the moxie he plays with, I think there's a whole lot to like. So what are some of your thoughts on, how Streveler could potentially grow in this offense moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long it'll be lasting for Streveler, but I think it'll give a spark on the offense when it's needed. And then I think that's kind of what Taysom Hill does for the Saints, is when they need a spark, he goes in and makes a touchdown throw or catches a touchdown or whatever it is. And that's kind of what Streveler's role is going to be for us, is because if we want to be creative, if we want to win football games, get the defense off balance, and if we make the playoffs, we have to be a little creative. We need to be a little bit, because there's better teams in the AFC than us, and if we want to somehow trick them, is we're gonna have to make some trick plays and make some different type of play calls to confuse them. And Streveler is that type of player, because we saw what he can do. We We know he doesn't have that great of an arm strength. We know he doesn't have that great of accuracy, but he knows how to run. He knows how to just ground and pound, and that's what Taysom Hill does. So I like the role. I think LaFleur is going to have fun with him, but I hope they use him in the right way. I feel like we always say that we have someone, they just don't use them in the right way again. And then we go back into it's just not working. And we're just, losing downs, losing yardage, and it does not work out. So hopefully they have a game plan for it. They had extra days to prepare. They have to go to Seattle and just do something to make a statement because that's what this team right now needs.
100%. You said it best. I mean, they've had more than enough time to really prepare and put together some good packages to get him on the field. And, whatever kind of a spark they could get. I mean, with the way this defense is playing, I mean, most weeks, 17 to 20 points for this Jets offense will typically get the job done. So, whole lot to unpack, Jets fans. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Jets episode soon.